Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day. It is Week 15 recaps, fantasy recaps episode.
Fantasy recaps.
Felipe, you are sporting your Dallas Mavericks today, not your fantasy team. What happened in fantasy this week, bro?
Well, Bijan fucked me.
Yeah.
As we talked about in regular recaps yesterday. And a couple other things didn't go my way. It was very unfortunate. And I was banking on last night, Devontae Smith or DeAndre Swift. One of those guys ended up going with Swift. And neither would have gotten me the 15 points I needed. So
you should have started both, though.
That actually makes me happy that neither, because I would have been pissed if I chose one, the other got it. Actually, the closest one to get it for my team was JSN, but I wasn't going to start JSN over the other two guys. So, yeah, it's tough. I was trying to go back-to-back in my Dynasty League, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, you rebuild. You got Bijan for the future.
Yeah,
Arthur Smith hopefully gets fired.
That's the
You'll
silver
be all right.
lining. Yeah, that's the silver lining.
You'll be all right.
Where the future's going to be all right. But, God, man, we next week was supposed to be like all my guys were going to have amazing matchups. So I was really trying to make it to next week.
Oh, I'm sorry,
fucking Bijan, man.
Hey, it was a weird week. I mean, if you just look at the top 10 scores in Week 15, you obviously see CMC up top. But James Cook put up 36.1 fantasy points. Jared Goff was the QB1. He put up 31. Jordan Addison was the wide receiver one. And then you had guys like Baker Mayfield there, Sam Laporta, Jalen Waddle, David Njoku, Terry McLaurin, and Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell was fucking QB3 on the week. I mean, it was a weird week. I think a lot of people got burned by the Bijan Robinson start. Yeah, man, it was tough. But for those that are still in the playoffs, hopefully we could help you make some lineup decisions and make you a lucky winner this week to get to the championship, because at the end of the day, all you can control is your team right now on the field. You can't play some defense. We got producer Kondo, of course, behind the mic. Kondo, say hello.
Hello.
And he'll bring some stats and whatnot. But yeah, someone just asked, how do we feel about Bijan? I mean, the Bijan one is crazy because Arthur Smith, usually the Falcons are in somewhat control of being able to win that division. They had control. I think right now the Bucs are maybe in the lead in that division. I don't know specifically in the NFC South. I'm curious.
Bucs, yeah.
They are, right?
Yeah.
But now you don't play your best players. I think Desmond Ritter's now benched for Taylor Heineke. You had Kyle Pitts and Drake London, who combined for 7 total targets. You had Bijan Robinson, who played less than 50% of the snaps. It was his lowest snap count of the entire year. And against the Panthers of all people. So it makes absolutely no sense at all right now. The Falcons are 6-8, and the Bucs and Saints are tied at 7-7. Like they could very easily lose this division. So it's tough, man. The Bijan one is definitely going to burn a lot of people.
So unfortunate.
I have a question off of that.
Talk to me.
Is Bijan Robinson the riskiest start in fantasy football going forward? Because you have to play him based on the upside. If he doesn't fumble there, who knows what happens? But, he's too good to bench. But Arthur Smith is also the bane of everybody's existence. I don't root against a team harder than I root against the Falcons. I think along with every other fantasy manager on the planet, was ecstatic to see them lose to the Panthers.
I don't think Bijan, here's what I would say is because there's some others, right? Like Stephon Diggs to me is more risky at this point than Bijan Robinson because Bijan's still going to get touches. Stephon Diggs has been awful over the last 4 weeks of the season, if not more. I think it's the last 8 weeks. So he scares the shit out of me. But then there are other guys like even Patrick Mahomes, who the name inflates what he's been able to do. But we are potentially seeing the ceiling of Patrick Mahomes. So you're scared shitless to start Patrick Mahomes. Bijan's in that category of people to be worried about starting. But I think no matter what, because he always had a favorable schedule during the playoffs, you're going to start Bijan. And usually when something like this happens, it's going to go completely the opposite way. And it wouldn't shock me if Bijan does get fed. Wasn't that game 2 weeks ago or 3-4 weeks ago, maybe at this point, where they played horribly and then he was unleashed against the Cardinals and people were like, oh, it's trending up. So
yeah,
maybe it is. What are your thoughts? I mean, is Bijan super risky for you right now?
Yeah, I might not start him. If I have another guy like Raheem Mostert or something like that I can start in his place that I know is going to get me a couple touchdowns, give me 12, 15 floor. At this point, I might be more secure with that.
Well, let me ask you. I got Bijan, Devon Achane, and Jonathan Taylor. And I don't know Jonathan Taylor. They said he might come back this week. I don't know for sure what that workload looks like. And he's going up against the Falcons.
In that case, I would go Bijan.
Right.
But what I'm saying is a guy like Raheem Mostert, you're probably starting anyways. But if you have a loaded RB room, and obviously Bijan is way more talented than Mostert. I'm still probably going Mostert over Bijan because he's going to give me a safer floor.
Well, that I understand. That I agree with
Yeah.
because the touchdowns are so like
Yeah.
that's what's kept Raheem Mostert afloat. He doesn't need to have the volume. It's been the touchdowns because he is the goal line back there.
Yeah.
But in the case of Bijan, he's not the goal line back, right? At all.
He was prior to this when he got unleashed. He was getting the carries at the goal line.
It's crazy, dude.
It's just out of all those guys you named, who has the risk of putting out a donut in one of your top RB spots? It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is really crazy. And I get the worry about starting Bijan. Like for me, it definitely is a concern. Like having Achane, Bijan, and Jonathan Taylor not knowing who to start. I'm leaning towards starting Bijan, benching Achane, and running with Jonathan Taylor if he's healthy. But the problem is you play the Cowboys and they have that leaky defense. So I don't know exactly what's going to be the case. I'm curious to keep debating over the next couple of days. But this is the Week 15 recaps episode. But we are going to look ahead as well because a lot of people have questions. Games start Thursday. Some people are moving on. Some people are going home. So make sure to drop your start-sit questions. Make sure to drop any of your questions for this coming week. We're going to do our best to answer them. We got 3 of us who think we know what we're talking about. Probably don't, though. Let's see. Adam Rio said, love y'all going to the second round. I had a bye because of you
Let's
guys.
fucking go,
Let's fucking go.
Shout out to you.
Before we jump into it, how the Mavs doing? Because you're wearing a bunch of Mavs shit right now.
I mean, I'm wearing one Mavs thing.
Well, the shoes are technically feel like very Dallas Mavericks-esque. They match.
They do match, but they
Did you buy them
not
because
Mavs
you had
shoes.
Mavs in mind? Or whether you were just like, I like
probably.
the green?
I probably was like, oh, I have some Mavs gear that could probably match with this. Yes. Yes. They did come. There was a consideration as a reason.
How's Luka? You spoke to him yesterday?
Luka doing good. Luka doing good. Bad loss last night.
Uh-huh.
You know, Mavs started off very well. We were like the 4th seed. Started off as the 1 seed, obviously going a little slide, but yeah, that's not what we're here for. So, I mean, I know some people care about basketball.
We can talk basketball, yeah. Bars asked, can you help get Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill, and Brian Robinson healthy for this week? I got lucky having a bye last week. Well, you spoke to Luka. I think it's within your circle. You could probably talk to Keenan, Tyreek, and Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
I think Tyreek's going to play. They said Tyreek was close to playing, and he made the final call. I think Tyreek was looking ahead to this Cowboys game and or the Ravens game the week following. So I do think Tyreek does end up playing. He's a tough guy. He doesn't really miss games to injuries.
He's a tough guy.
Keenan, I have no fucking clue because
I don't either.
It's also Easton Stick, another one of those guys on my team where my wide receivers are Jettis, Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb. My running backs are Bijan, Achane, and Jonathan Taylor. Could easily take out Keenan Allen and be concerned with Easton Stick, but I think you got to roll with Keenan if he's healthy no matter what. Mm-hmm. He's still that talented guy. Alex asked, I thought Jack was going to be on. Should we can get Jack on. Jack.
We should. I mean, Q&A's today anyways.
Yeah, seriously. Devo said, should I start Justin Fields? Are you starting Justin Fields this week?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an easier matchup. Who is it this week? I can look right now.
I got to pull up the rankings.
He's on my team. If I were still playing next week, it would matter.
Right, you would know. Justin Fields is playing Arizona.
25th against
good
quarterbacks.
Matchup.
Great matchup for him. I'm definitely starting him. We knew this was going to be a tougher matchup against Cleveland, and he should have had a way better performance if guys could catch footballs. Like the 2 touchdowns were missed because his guys couldn't catch footballs.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a 6-point swing on the last play of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Fields honestly would have had a really good performance, especially considering the defense he was playing if it wasn't for his team. But against Arizona is going to be definitely a way better matchup for him. So I would start Fields this week. The thing with Fields is his upside is so high. He could win you a week by himself.
Yep.
So I would start him.
Yeah, I think you got to start him. This person doesn't have a name, just has a heart emoji, but said, which flex? Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I'm probably going Ayuk. They have the Ravens this week though, which is tough. Who was the second? It was
Bijan, Puka Nacua, or Brandon Ayuk.
I'm going Ayuk personally. I think he has the highest ceiling. I know he didn't play very well this past week, fantasy wise. Obviously, didn't put up the crazy points, but Bijan does scare me legitimately, like we were just talking about. And Puka gives you a good floor.
Well, I think Ayuk has the safest floor probably out of all of them. Like the way he's been all year.
Yeah, this past week he put up like 6 though. Like it wasn't
ideal.
It wasn't ideal.
But Debo cooked. Like they put up a lot of points. It's weird. Like they put up a lot of points, and Ayuk's not the benefactor of it.
And now they're playing the Ravens.
I would probably start Ayuk. I mean, their DBs are better than Arizona though. That's the one concern. I think I'd go Ayuk, Bijan, Puka. If it's full PPR, I think you're still going Ayuk just because the ceiling feels like the highest. The problem with Bijan is like he also has probably a similar ceiling, but the floor is a lot lower.
Right.
So I think just because it's playoffs, I think you have to go Ayuk. I think Ayuk's like a top 12, top 14 wide receiver this week, top 15 wide receiver. Bijan's probably like a low end RB1 this week. So they're somewhat close.
Still scares the shit
It scares
out
the
of you,
fuck out of me.
Condo, producer Condo, what you got?
I'm trying to get in the head of Arthur Smith, which is a
No, you're
scary
not. You're not
place
gonna
to
get in the head.
be. And I feel like he wants fantasy managers because we can agree this whole season has been about fucking over as many fantasy managers as possible.
Yep.
I think he wants us to sit Bijan so then he can have him go off and then laugh at us again. So that's bringing me back to being high on Bijan.
I got you. No, it makes sense. I like the theory there. I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't want to like not start Bijan and then he does well. Like
That's the thing.
You drafted him in the first round. Like, I'm not going to bench Bijan. I'm just going to ride it out. If I go down with Bijan, I don't think he's going to have negative 0.91 points this week. Like, that is not going to happen. I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Arthur Smith really does suck at this fucking job we call football and coaching football. But
he does. He does.
Like, maybe like he genuinely could be a bad head coach.
I was looking at the play caller ratings.
Bad?
That Steve Patton does every week. Shout out analytics.
Patton analytics, yep.
Yeah, the Falcons are last. Offensively, last.
That's crazy.
Like, they're bad. Like, it's not even like, oh, he's misused. Like, he's underutilizing Bijan for the benefit of the offense. No, like, they are horrible at calling offensive plays. And and everything.
But we've seen it. They just can't put up points when they don't play Bijan Robinson.
Yeah,
bro, like, are you trying to get fired, bro? Like, what the fuck?
He should have been fired after this week. Because we know that teams rattle off a couple wins when their head coach gets fired. So Alex Bermuda says, really need wide receiver help. Is Rashee Rice for DJ Moore and OBJ for Darren Waller a good pickup on the waivers?
I'm kind of confused on you made it sound like a trade. Love the show. Watch y'all every day. What's up, man? Appreciate it. But back to DJ Moore and OBJ for Darren Waller.
So DJ Moore's on the
I would
waiver
start.
line?
Well, look, DJ Moore's got a good matchup this week against Arizona. I'm just gonna let's talk about who these guys are facing and how their fantasy performance will be. Yeah, DJ Moore has a good matchup against Arizona this week. Obviously, him and Fields together, they both perform well. Last past week they played Cleveland, tough defense. Arizona should be much more forgiving. And so I love DJ Moore a lot. Rashee Rice obviously been doing his thing as well. But who are the Chiefs playing?
The Chiefs are playing Vegas.
Who?
The Vegas Raiders.
Vegas.
There you go.
So I mean I like that as well.
I think I'm starting DJ Moore. So if DJ Moore's if DJ Moore, I don't totally understand the framing.
I'm starting OBJ over Waller. I'm starting DJ over Rashee. I don't really understand the framing.
Well, I don't understand because if you could start a wide receiver over Darren Waller, I want to start Rashee Rice and DJ Moore over OBJ and Darren Waller.
Yeah, I'm starting Rashee and DJ Moore to be very clear. Those are the top two guys. And OBJ, if I were to rank these guys, it would be DJ Moore, Rashee Rice. Who's the next guy?
Darren Waller and then OBJ.
I would probably go OBJ over Waller, but yeah.
Jason asked on TikTok, Jake Browning or Brock Purdy this week? I think you got to go Brock. We're talking floors here. This is the fantasy playoffs. There's
you're talking floors, but you're also talking the Ravens defense.
Yeah, but we're at home. If this was in Baltimore, it might be a different story.
Who are the Bengals playing?
The Bengals are playing Pittsburgh. I'm looking at rankings right now. Jake Browning currently QB 18. I'm just not trusting it. Divisional matchup.
QB 18 on the season?
No, on the
on
the week 16 rankings. I think you got to go Brock. Don't overthink it. Don't. This is the fantasy plaffs. Don't overthink it.
Brock's been playing well. I think he's been QB3 since week 8 or something like that. I think I saw that somewhere. Don't quote me on it. So yeah, probably a safer floor. I think you're capped on the ceiling.
I'm going Brock. I don't, but we're talking quarterback. Yeah.
There might be a better option on the waivers. I don't know.
Your King Commish said 2 or Dak this week. I think you got to go Dak. I don't think it's that close.
It's not close.
Dak's
got to have a bounce back this week.
Yeah. Also, just a higher ceiling than Tua. They're going to rely on the ground game. Jake asked, can you rate this? Devin Singletary, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and Ramondre Stevenson.
That's disgusting.
1 through 4 this week. I don't know if Ramondre Stevenson's playing this week, so I think he's out of this conversation. I don't think he's playing. I think he's still injured.
But what if he's playing?
I'm just looking right now what they're saying. They're saying there's nothing on Ramondre Stevenson right now. Injury update for Ramondre says I think he's gonna be out. Let's just sources. Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Devin Singletary.
Probably if Jonathan Taylor's playing, probably JT.
Yeah. Aaron Jones looked good.
Did he?
He looked good.
Aaron Jones. Who's the other guy?
Devin Singletary against Cleveland. I think you got to go.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Aaron Jones second, Singletary third,
Yeah.
especially because he's playing that Browns D.
Totally. I think I totally agree. I think Atlanta's actually been pretty good against the run. Do we have a stat to back that up? I think because the Colts, you guys play Falcons, yes? Colts Forge?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I will look up that stat now.
all right, we'll get a stat on that. But yeah, I think Falcons have been pretty damn good against the run. So that does worry me with Jonathan Taylor. But if Jonathan Taylor is healthy to go with no Michael Pittman, it could be. I think you have to start Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to start him in my league if he's good to go. It's tough. DH asked, what's up? What's up, boys? Start 2, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Achane. Standard scoring.
Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua,
and Devon Achane.
Start 2.
Mm-hmm.
Adams and that's tough. I'm going Adams and Puka probably. I'm still probably going Adams and Puka.
I think you're right.
I think the Dolphins are gonna be playing from behind. They're gonna have to throw the ball,
which favors Achane, but
does it?
Yeah, because he kind of him and Raheem Mostert kind of gets some receptions. It favors him, but I think I totally agree with you. I think you got to go Puka and Devontae. Just also at this point, like we're talking fantasy playoffs. Achane obviously has a massive ceiling, but that floor, as we just saw,
scary.
Like it's definitely low. If even the fact that against the Jets, where Raheem Mostert's able to have 2 touchdowns, like those goal line touches aren't going to Achane.
Reporting back on the Falcons defense, actually allowing the second least fantasy points per game against opposing running backs.
So they're good.
Under 15.
Yeah, so they're good they're good. Yeah, so that's a tough one.
How about Adam Rio, Stafford or Kyler Murray this week? So Kyler is playing the Bears.
Who's been good? The Bears defense has been good.
85 Bears.
Yeah.
85 Bears. And Stafford is playing the Saints. I'm probably going Stafford.
I'm going Kyler. Because it's playoffs, I want rushing upside.
I get that, but Stafford's been very good the past few weeks.
I totally agree with that. Again, looking at these rankings, Kyler Murray, QB 10 this week, Matthew Stafford, QB 11. It's right there. It's neck and neck. You want to break the tiebreaker, Kondo?
I think both of these guys are so reliant on matchup, and they both don't have a great matchup.
That's true.
I'm probably, if I had to choose, going New Orleans going with Stafford because he's playing New Orleans and just the hot streak that he's been on, where Kyler's been kind of like, I don't want to say trending down,
right? But
it's just been like noticeable of late, the drop off when he plays good defense.
I don't hate it. Jonathan Taylor or Alvin Kamara?
Kamara.
Yeah.
Every week you got to start Kamara.
Yeah, I think you got to trust it. Just the way he's been, Alvin Kamara, RB3 this week.
Yep.
I think you have to. Yep. I don't think it's that much of a question, even if Jonathan Taylor plays. Now, if he had been playing and Zach Moss was or will be inactive, do we know if Zach Moss is going to play this week, Kondo? You're a Colts fan.
I think it's still up in the air.
Still up in the air. So that might change some things, but I think there's no matter what, even with Zach Moss out, Jonathan Taylor's not going to be ranked higher than Alvin Kamara. I think you got to go with Alvin Kamara. Isaiah Pacheco or Saquon? This is from Oliver.
I'm going Pacheco. If he's healthy, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
We said the Chiefs are playing.
Chiefs playing the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going Pacheco. He's got a good floor. I like him. I mean, the Giants. Is it the Eagles this week? Is that who they got this week?
Yes, at Philadelphia. Yeah, that's not a good spot for Saquon.
Yeah, I think I prefer Pacheco, but it is close, and Saquon probably gives a higher ceiling. I think I'm going Pacheco.
Yep, I don't hate it. I think looking at these rankings, Isaiah Pacheco RB14, Saquon RB15. It's hit or miss. I think I lean Isaiah Pacheco. I agree with you just because of the matchup. Saquon, tough matchup at Philly. Philadelphia could be playing pissed off. Good bounce back spot. So that's kind of where I'd go with that. Big Ev says, which 2 should I start? Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua, or Rashee Rice?
Puka and Rashee.
I think, yeah. Dude, there's no way I unless you have better options, like we're talking top 12 options, there's no way I want to bench Rashee Rice, which is how well he's been playing.
And Garrett's just tough because of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
That Jets offense is not good. Quarterback play, difficult. Rough situation.
Peter says, Achane or Chuba Hubbard?
That I'm going H-N.
I think you got to go H-N. That's not even hard for me too. I want the best offense. I want the better offense. And then
Yeah.
Baker or Mahomes, he asked.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Who does?
Baker plays the Chargers. Excuse me, Jacksonville.
Oh, I'm going Baker.
Oh, I'm going
That
Patrick.
that Jacksonville defense is atrocious. Lamar chilled and got 20, like on just hanging out. Baker's been on a crazy tear. The first quarterback ever to have a perfect passer rating in Green Bay. I don't know if you knew that.
Ooh.
So I think it's gonna keep it hot, man. This Bucks offense is looking good.
I mean, for me, I think I got to go Mahomes. Cleared 300 yards last week. 2 touchdowns, obviously 2 INTs, but against the Patriots. Again, this is a spot where I don't want to get too cute. Like, I think we just saw Baker's best game of the year. I don't think he's going to have that same type of year, same type of game. I understand the matchup. I understand what Lamar just did. I want to lean Mahomes. Kondo, you want to break the tie?
I think I'm going Mahomes too. It's just like what we talked about with Bijan earlier.
Right.
It's that kind of more fan side of me that's like, if I sit Mahomes and he goes off, I'm not going to be able to live with myself.
Yeah, it's also,
that's annoying. Yeah.
It's also like where you drafted Mahomes. Like at this point, if you're going to go home, you're going to go home because of Mahomes, I'll take that swing. If I'm going to go home because Baker happened to be bad, who I probably got off waivers, and I benched Mahomes and Mahomes had a better game, I'm going to be beside myself.
If I lose because of Baker Mayfield, it's my fault entirely. If I lose because of Patrick Mahomes, I can put the blame on anyone else.
He's the
and
scapegoat.
that's okay.
I totally agree with that.
There you go. I like that analysis.
Smart
guy.
Here's a good one. I don't know this guy's name, but he said thoughts on the Bengals. Because Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time.
That sucks. Browning's looking good. He's serviceable at quarterback. So that's good. Mixon's always, he's going to do his thing. He's going to get his touchdowns and stuff. So with Chase out, Higgins goes up a little bit.
Totally.
So I think you have a few startable. I mean, you're definitely starting Mixon, most likely. And Higgins is probably getting that start. Obviously, he had a good game this past weekend as well. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on the Bengals. I don't know what else to really add there. Browning probably is – you could start him if you have a question mark at quarterback, but that's it.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. You uptick T, unless you have better options, like you're going to start T. I'm looking at these rankings. He was like wide receiver 36 coming into this week. So, still not so, like – he was saved by that touchdown at the end, right? So, I think if T, I don't mind starting T because Jamar's going to be out, but he is going to be the focal point. You're starting Joe Mixon no matter what. It's a reason I don't want to start Jake Browning if he doesn't have all those weapons. So I agree with everything you said. Here's a good question. Pokemon said TJ Hawkinson or Trey McBride.
Oh, those are like the top two of the top 3 guys, man.
TJ Hawkinson playing against Cincinnati. Of course, Trey McBride against San Francisco. Better matchup for TJ Hawkinson.
Trey McBride against San Fran?
That's
they just played? No, they really?
Is this last week?
They just played.
Am I looking at week 15?
I was like, they go ahead and play the Cardinals back to back.
Why am I did I just read all that shit wrong?
I was gonna say Hawkinson had a better matchup last week and he scored like 6 points.
Oh, wow. It just updated.
Who does McBride have?
Both Trey McBride, Chicago, TJ Hawkinson, Detroit.
Okay, it doesn't really change much. Huh?
Revenge game.
I think McBride, man. McBride's been tied in 1, I think, since week 8, I believe.
Ooh, I'm going to check that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Double check that. And regardless, man, I mean, the tight end conversation is really fun.
What'd you say? Tight end what?
Yeah, 1.
Tight end 2.
Tight end 2?
You know who's 1?
Oh.
Could you guess?
Is it Hawkinson?
No. It's this. I didn't even know this. This is crazy.
What is it?
David Njoku.
Oh, wow.
Tight end 1 since week 8. Maybe if we go back to week 7. Trey McBride? No.
Go to week 10 or something.
9. Week 9. Nope. Still David Njoku. Nope. Week 10. Still Sam Laporta.
I saw one of the Fantasy Pros guys say something like that.
Maybe half PPR? Maybe half PPR.
Nah, full.
Put it on somebody else.
What were you were saying something about TJ Hawk, though?
Nah, Hawkinson. I mean, no, I was just saying, like, the tight end spot is good right now. It's really fun. I think if you play Dynasty, obviously, a bunch of new guys just are making their way in.
Shout out you getting McBride.
Yeah,
KK dropped off a little bit.
A little bit. I attribute it to that Bills offense, though. But No, it's fun, man. It's fun. I mean, you're talking about guys like Hawkinson and McBride, both being ranked ahead of guys like Travis Kelce right now going forward. So, really fun landscape. You got two of the best tight ends right there. I'm probably going McBride. I mean, clearly he's been higher than who's
TJ Hawkinson.
Than Hawkinson. So, I'm probably going McBride.
I'm going Trey McBride solely for the reason of volume. Like TJ Hawkinson still has Jettis. We're dealing with a worse quarterback. Kyler loves Trey McBride. The usage that Trey's been having is the type of usage that Travis Kelce would get for all these years. It is like elite alpha tight end one. It is a guy that you could literally put in your flex type of situation, right?
Yeah,
like
for real.
The volume's just been insane. I understand TJ Hawkinson's been fantastic, but I think the floor actually might be a little higher right now for Trey McBride. The ceiling could be higher for Hawkinson, but like a game where he's coming off another 10 catches, like how many times has a tight end had 10 catch games? He had 10 of 11 targets for 102 yards. I think I'm just going to – and against the Niners, too, like a good team. He's a strong tight end one. I think I'm going to go Trey McBride. You got any thoughts to that condo back there?
If I started Trey McBride last week, I would have made the would have advanced in the playoffs. I started TJ Hawkinson. Give me Trey McBride. He has 46 targets over the last 5 games, too.
Yeah,
like, he's just
stupid.
a target monster.
I also don't mind, like, if you – what?
Sorry, apologies.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Trey McBride is the tight end one in fantasy points per game.
Oh,
since
that's
week 8.
Probably correct.
Yes. So points per game, there's probably a buy in there. That's why. So he's actually the highest scoring tight end since week 8 in terms of points per game. And here's something else that's fun. Just
16.7.
There you go. So since week 8, when his role dramatically grew because I think Zach Ertz got hurt or something like that, he ranks first in target share among tight ends, run, and first in yards per route run. I mean, he's literally first in everything. Like, this guy is the future at the position. Some might say the next Travis Kelce.
Some might say, were you early on Trey McBride?
Yeah, but so were you, because we both talked about him before last season.
Yeah,
when nobody even knew who he was. So shout out to us.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where, like, I wouldn't even be opposed to putting TJ Hawkinson and Trey McBride in my lineup and putting one at the flex.
Yeah.
Like, we are at that point in the fantasy, like, season, and we're just at that point in fantasy where, like, there's some pretty damn good tight ends. Yep. So if we want to just talk strictly people that have scored, like, I'm actually very curious. Let's see. In PPR since week 8, how many tight ends are maybe in that top 20? Well, we got to take out quarterback, so this doesn't really work. Let's see. Never mind. I can't pull up flex. But David Njoku's there. Trey McBride's there. Like, it's hard to take out quarterbacks, but they would all be there. I don't mind putting Hawkinson and Trey McBride in your lineup.
I agree.
Nate's been asking this question a lot. Tua or Jared Goff this week?
We say Goff is playing.
Jared Goff is playing Minnesota.
I like that. Oh, well, actually, Minnesota D's been nice.
Yeah.
Shout out Brian Flores. Shout out Dolphins.
Shout out leader of men.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I agree. I think I'm gonna go Jared Goff. Like, we're Tua
against the Cowboys defense is scary too,
and the offensive line is decimated. The offensive
Yeah.
line, like, they have one starting offensive line right now.
And the Cowboys lead the league in turnovers and takeaways again. Dan Quinn knows how to get after them. And they're going to be playing with a little fire in their ass, I think, especially with Philly losing this week. Like, the NFC East is in play. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jared Goff. Easy. Better matchup.
Cato Gringo said, start 2, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, DK Metcalf, and Brandon Ayuk.
I'm starting DK.
And I think you're starting Ayuk too.
Who was the first guy?
T. Higgins and Deontay Johnson. I don't think it's that close. I'll be honest.
Yeah, probably Ayuk. Yeah, I mean, they're not good matchups. Like, Ayuk is not a good matchup against Baltimore, but it does probably provide the safest floor.
Yeah, but I'm not one of these people. I'm not totally phased by matchups every time. Like, Ayuk has shown us that this dude can fucking ball. Like, it's not enough to sway me away versus, like, I would be swayed away from T. Higgins without Jamar. Like, given that Jake Browning situation, I know Jake's been great over the last, like, 2-3 weeks, but I'd be swayed away from that. When it comes to Brandon Ayuk, who's like top 12 at the position, I'm not swayed away. Like, I've seen people before even ask about, like, Mike Evans, right? Who we had last week. I think people asked, like, do I start Mike Evans against Green Bay? Like, no matter fucking what, I'm starting Mike Evans. No matter fucking what, I'm going to start DK and Ayuk just with the ceiling. Like, DK I think he had his day salvaged, or his night salvaged, I would say, strictly by that deep bomb, but I think you got to start both of them. A few other questions before we begin wrapping up. Reed Horton says, start 2, Achane, Puka, or Jaden Reed. This is a really good one.
I mean, you've talked about Reed playing well the past few weeks, right?
Yeah, Jaden Reed's been fantastic. Rankings right now have him at wide receiver 26. If Christian Watson doesn't go, I'm more comfortable starting him. But until then, he got hurt also last week. I think he came out in the 4th with a toe injury.
Oh,
I lean probably Achane and Puka.
me too.
Just because I feel like starting Jaden Reed over one of those guys is one of those I'm getting way too cute situations in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
What do you got?
I don't know. Jaden Reed has just been so good when it comes to like since week 10. He has one dud, one game under 13 points in half-point PPR.
Wide receiver 12 in full PPR since week 8.
So I'm probably because Puka's become a little bit of touchdown dependency too. So I'm probably playing him over Puka.
Don't hate that. I'll be honest. I genuinely don't hate that. But it comes down to if Christian Watson plays or not. Because if it's relegated down to Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and then Dontavian Wicks, who's also been good, I'm a little bit more concerned. We know Puka's going to get targets. Now, whether or not that translates, Puka is – it also comes back to like a Bijan example, right? Where like you've rode Puka all year. If I'm going to go down because I started fucking Puka, so be it. But if I started Jaden Reed over Puka and Puka ends up having a good fucking game and Jaden Reed has a dud because we're just overreacting to these last couple of weeks, I'm going to be beside myself.
I've become a little bit more comfortable with sitting Puka over the last few weeks.
Fair.
Like he hasn't been as dominant, like to where Bijan is still putting up these like monster games.
Right.
I don't think like Puka's doing that as consistently. That being said, I agree with you wholeheartedly as far as Jaden Reed, like the targets, especially with Christian Watson in. Like he was getting 4 catches and still putting up double digits.
Well, he had rushing touchdowns. His days were salvaged by rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. He's going to be scary to watch regardless because he's not a volume.
Right. Let's see how these next 2 days progress. As a reminder, we do these start sits also on Thursday, 10:30 a.m. live, same place. So make sure to tune into that, right? We'll check out the injury reports. We'll see what happens, and then we'll decide on that official one. I think right now we're probably all going to go Puka Achane, but there's a slight change that could happen between Puka and Jaden Reed. We got any other questions on YouTube? I think we've neglected YouTube before we begin signing off. I'm going to wrap this up. Ooh, Bills defense. Okay, Bills defense. We haven't had a defense question. Bills defense, Broncos defense, or Packers defense? I will tell you matchups in a second.
Yes.
Packers play the Panthers.
The Bills are currently the number 1 defense heading into this week for matchups against the Chargers. I think that's it right there.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially with their offense playing better. Like, obviously, the offense playing better. It's going to put the Chargers in a position to have to throw the ball. The defense can capitalize on that. So, I think I'll go with that as well.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. Adam also asked Stafford or Kyler, or did we do that one already? We did that one already?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 2 more questions on TikTok, and then everyone will have to come back 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. Evan Houston said, pick 2, Bijan, Jameer. Okay, this is a tough one. Pick 2, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, Raheem Mostert, Achane, and Aaron Jones.
Woo! Yeah, I'm going. Okay.
Want me to read it
How
again?
did Jameer Gibbs do this past week?
He popped off. I think you got to start Jameer Gibbs, just the way he's been.
Yeah, he started Jameer. We're starting 2 out of those?
Start 2. And I think you got to go Mostert.
I think I'm going. Yeah, the Cowboys matchup does concern me, though, for Mostert. But
the problem
Bijan still concerns me. So, like I said earlier, I specifically mentioned a guy like Mostert who I'd probably start over Bijan.
Yeah.
So, I think I'll go Gibbs and Mostert.
Thoughts, Kondo?
I think I'm leaning the same exact way.
Yeah, again, I think the balance between Jameer Gibbs and Raheem Mostert is that Jameer's going to give you a ceiling, Mostert might give you a floor.
Yeah.
So even if the Dolphins have a hard time running the ball, I think if they get inside the 5, Mike McDaniel's learned his lesson over the last couple of weeks and has started to run more. They got in trouble, obviously, against Tennessee. They ran a fuck ton. I think they got inside the 5 against the Jets this past week, who is still a good defense, and they made the Jets defense look like nothing. I think you're going Gibbs and Mostert. I also don't mind putting Bijan in my flex, though. I don't want to get burned by Bijan. We'll find one more question, and then we will sign off until 10:30 a.m. on Thursday. There's a QB question. I see some questions. Okay, Ayuk or Waddle? Here's a good one.
If Tyreek doesn't play,
Tyreek, I think, plays. Let's assume Tyreek plays.
I still might lean Waddle. I don't love the Ayuk matchup against Baltimore. I still might go Waddle.
Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 12 heading into this week in terms of rankings. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver 15. Tough matchups for both. Kondo, you have any thoughts to Ayuk versus Jalen Waddle?
I'm probably going Waddle. Just the upside, like the volume can be there for
I think the
Waddle, where I
volume will
don't
be
know that it is for Ayuk. Ayuk's big games, he'll have like 6 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But like Waddle can have a 10 catch, 100-yard day.
Yeah, I think the way I look at it is Ayuk gives you the floor, Waddle gives you the ceiling. Like Ayuk's been good, but we know what he can do. I might lean. Oh, it's so tough.
I just think the Dolphins are going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball. Like, Waddle's going to be one of the guys that you're going to be targeting.
Right.
And Waddle has been like safer of late, where he's getting like, he has at least 50 yards in every game since week 11, which I know isn't like crazy,
That's
but
enough.
in half point has never let you down from less than like 7.5 points, which isn't like awesome.
Right.
But that's like a floor where Ayuk is probably going to be around there as far as it's concerned.
Jalen Waddle since week 12, I believe it was. I was just looking at wide receiver 5.
Damn.
So he's been good. I mean, let's all lean Jalen Waddle. I think we're all kind of going there, but it's really, really close. I still love Ayuk. I think Ayuk's a great play. But I think you guys something?
Oh, I was just gonna wrap up that question. I have a little game before we wrap up.
Okay. No, that's all I got for Jalen Waddle versus Brandon Ayuk. I do want to think on it though. I want to ponder. What are you gonna say?
Can you guys guess the top 10 in goal line carries within the 10-yard line in the NFL right now?
Players or
For the
teams?
season?
Players.
For the season?
Yes.
Okay. Tyler Algier has to be there.
Tyler Algier is not there.
Oh, you want to rip?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey is number 2.
Mostert?
Mostert is number 1.
Yeah. He's gonna get fed.
That's insane.
David Montgomery, even though he missed time.
David Montgomery is 6.
Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams, who missed time, is number 4.
Wow. Would Gibbs also be there?
Gibbs is not in there.
Okay.
Gus Edwards.
Ooh.
Gus Edwards is number 3.
Good pull. Good fucking pull. Trying to think who else has been good in
Zach Charbonnet.
Not Zach Sharp.
Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker is number 11.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss is not in there.
Ooh, okay.
You're missing one that's close to your heart.
Bijan.
No. I would say closer.
Achan?
Achan is number 8.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
crazy.
Mostert and 18 top 10. Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard not in there.
Ooh, K. I'm like slumping on Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson not in there.
Yeah.
I think you guys are only missing 1, 2, 3.
Josh Jacobs.
Not Josh Jacobs.
They don't get inside the 10. That's the problem.
I'm trying to think who else is like, why am I blanking on
Number
one of
5
them?
we mentioned today.
We mentioned so many people today.
That is also true. He may play for a team that has a backup quarterback that might be better than the starting quarterback. Joe Mixon. Number 5. Number 7, you would think that he would be number 1 on this list most years.
CMC. Derrick Henry. Eddie Lacy. Good pull, bro.
Thanks.
Good pull.
Number 9, he's on one of what you would expect to be the most explosive offenses in the league.
Isaiah Pacheco.
And then number 10 is a backup running back who just seems to score every game.
What? Backup running back that seems to score
Jahmyr Gibbs.
every. I said Jahmyr.
Not Jahmyr Gibbs.
Score every game. Backup.
Tyler Algier. Oh, no, we said that too.
Said that.
Not an offense that you would expect a lot of scoring from.
Chuba Hubbard.
No.
Oh, that was a good pull, though. Good pull. Let's go through the divisions. Could Rashad White be there?
Not Rashad White.
But he's not a backup. Yeah, fuck. I forgot about that. Because Rashad White's been killing in fantasy. NFC South. Kamara's not there. Jamal's no, he doesn't score. He hasn't scored at all this past year. Should we see if comments have it? Comments know it? Ooh, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt is
Good
at number
pull.
10.
Someone said, shout out. I got to shout that person out. Marco Martinez.
Smart guy.
Smart fucking guy. All right. Well, hey, this has been the Week 15 recaps episode where we did obviously start sits. Make sure to drop if you comment on any of our videos and have some questions or DM us, we could probably help you out. Also, make sure to follow both of us on our personals.
Yeah.
If you have any other start sit questions or fantasy questions, tweet at us or DM us. We could probably help you out there. The Felipe Fontes, I believe, on Twitter.
Yep.
TGD Tabs
Bingo.
on Twitter. And then also, as a reminder, 10:30 a.m. Thursday, come back with more start sit questions. We'll see how the injury reports turn out. I'll try to help you make the proper decisions. Also, if you are a constant Caps Off follower, make sure to go follow Jack_Pro_Dates, his last week with us, which is a sad fucking day, sad fucking week. But yeah, any hoozle, we will see you tomorrow for our cafeteria episode.
Facts. Bye.